The following is a presentation of Project Independence and WCWP. Project Independence is the Aging in Place initiative of the town of North Hempstead. We provide programs and services designed to assist and support the older town residents who wish to remain in their homes as they age. If we don't currently provide a service, we will try and connect you to that service. Call 311 or 869-6311 to get more information or receive services.
Welcome to Project Independence and You.
And welcome to Project Independence and You here at WCWP.org, 88.1 FM on your radio. And also, they have a really great app, WCWP Radio, and you can listen live and it's nice and clear. So there's a lot of different ways to listen to Project Independence and You here at Senior Talk Radio. Today's show is really a wonderful, full show, and we have a lot of guests. Co-host today is Otto Lohse. We have Otto back. He took a little break last week. I think he had a golf game or a bowling game or
No,
both.
actually it was golf and fishing.
Golf and fishing at the same time. Like, are you fishing
No.
the golf balls
One
down,
day
or-
golf out in Orient Point. One day
Oh,
golf,
nice.
next day fishing. We caught two
Okay, well,
fish between
missed
5
you.
of us.
Great. We missed you, Otto. We had a great show last week, and today's show is going to be great too. And Christina Liu, our radio show producer extraordinaire, pulled this show together as she does every show every week as we slowly approach our 10-year anniversary with Project Independence and You. So our first guests today are from Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Long Island. We have Laurore, who is the program manager. And we have Meredith Michaels, who's the director of development, and Christy Druzynski, Drew, and who's a big sister, and Diamond, who's a little sister. So this is so wonderful to have you all on. We're really looking forward to hearing about the program, what it's all about. You know, I know that you guys are, you need strong fundraising, so we'll talk about that, how to best support big brothers, big sisters. So I don't know who wants to go first. We have 4 wonderful guests. I guess like a little background at first on Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Long Island.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us. We're thrilled to be here. And we're just really appreciative that you guys are involving us in this. So thank you. I guess I'll just start by just sharing a little bit about our organization, just so you guys have some background on how we got here, how we specifically are in Long Island. And then we can dive a little bit more into, what our main role is, which is mentorship. So just our mission, just to start things off, is to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. And really that just means that we believe that every child should have the opportunity to reach his or her full potential. And the way that we do this is that we provide one-to-one mentoring between a child and an adult, and we refer to them as bigs and littles. So you might hear that throughout the interview today. To come together and have some consistency and support from one another and share in really fun activities and memories. And Drew and Diamond will certainly share more about what they've done together. But that is what our organization is all about: mentorship and providing support, resources, tools, and connections in ways that our individual families and children involved can benefit from that. And it not only does it start with just mentorship and time together, but there are so many other ways that we support our bigs and littles, especially our littles, throughout the year, through activities, providing tickets to different things. Thankfully, the world is opening up a little bit more, so we can have more in-person events and do more of those activities that our bigs and littles look forward to every year. But we have things from celebrating different holidays to doing volunteer give back programs. We have a scholarship that we give every year. We do back to school shopping events. We just had a summer readiness event where they got to go shopping for summer supplies. So it really there's a huge range of the opportunities that our bigs and littles have throughout the year, but it's all tied to that one-to-one mentorship. So we're so thrilled that here on Long Island, we've been open for about a little over 40 years. And our national organization, which we are under an umbrella of, because we are a local chapter, they started back in the 1970s. So this has been a long-standing national organization, and locally here on Long Island, we've been serving the Long Island population for a little over 4 years. So that's a little bit about our organization. I don't know if you have any specific questions on that.
I do.
Sure. I just wanted to clarify, that was Meredith Michael, who's a director of development.
Right. My question is, the people involved obviously are the bigs and the littles. How do the littles get involved with the program? What steers them there? You know, is it a member of a family, or could it possibly be a parent who gets them involved, or how does it happen? How like Diamond, as an example, how did she get involved with being a little within this program?
I can answer that. So I never used to like to go out places. Like, I'd always be very introverted and stay home and do my thing. And my grandma always saw a problem with that. So one day she had pulled me and my sister into the room, and she was like, I want you guys to try something, specifically you, Diamond, and me. Off the bat, I was like, no thanks. Like, I'm good. I don't want to do it. And she was like, can you please just try for me? And I was like, what is it? And she was like, I'm going to sign you up for a program called Big Brothers Big Sisters. And basically what you're going to get is a big sister. And I was like, I already have one. Then why do I need another one? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to ask me. And she was like, well, basically she'll take you out to places and you can make like new friends, and you could do more things because you never go nowhere. And you can go to like the movies and to like festivals. They have programs and stuff. And right off the bat, she caught me on movies. I was like, we can go to the movies? She's like, yeah, totally. You can go to the movies. She'll take you places. They have like these Walmart shop trips. They have mad things that you could try. And I was like, no. And she was like, please try this for me. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So then I had a first big, and we used to go to friendlies and we painted rocks and stuff. We went to the park. We tried new ice cream shops, all of that. And that's basically how I got into it.
Now, it was your grandmother who got you into it? So like on a typical scenario, is it a family member or,
Yes.
Yeah.
So typically a family member will reach out to us and let us know that they're interested in enrolling their child into the program. And we will then reach out, we'll give them an overview of the program, we'll set up an interview with them. We've been doing interviews via Zoom recently, and we'll have the interview and we'll get them prepared for becoming part of our program.
And also there, sometimes the schools are connected with us, and they refer children to our program. A lot of it is word of mouth. Sometimes someone's just driving by and they see one of our trucks and they say, oh, I want to learn more about this. And then you have other scenarios like Diamond shared, where family and family friends, they see the connection and they want to make the introduction. And then, of course, for anyone who's listening that is interested in learning more, our website is www.bbbsli.org, and you can learn all about becoming a big, a little, and getting involved that way.
I'm curious about a lot of it. It's such a wonderful program. I have a lot of questions. I'm wondering what the age range is for the littles. I'm wondering how the match is made. What's the process? Like, how many volunteers do you have, and how do you make that fit? Like, how do you know it's going to work with these? And, and also, and we can go on, this is a lot of questions and I'll kind of go over them again. If I'm going to set up my child, I certainly want to make sure that the bigs are vetted. I'm sure Diamond's grandma was, curious about that too. So, there's a lot of information I'm curious about. And I guess just really, what is the age range of the littles, and do they age out?
Sure. So we accept littles starting at the age of 7 and up to the age of 16, but a child can stay enrolled in our program till either they graduate high school or finish their first year through college. But just because they're no longer part of Big Brothers Big Sisters doesn't mean they don't stay in touch with their big. A lot of times they may age out of our program, but they still stay connected with their big brother, big sister.
Oh, yeah,
Do
we
they
have
ever
stories
become?
where, I'm
I'm
sorry, we have stories where they were in their weddings, they were at their
Yeah.
college graduations, they're still friends with them. I mean, it's, you know, even though it may end on, you know, within paperwork, as Lauren's saying, the relationship continues, and it's pretty incredible how long, and it's a forever bond for many of them.
Do they ever become bigs?
Can I ask that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll find that a lot of littles will later either become bigs, or when they're working and in a position to get involved, they'll start coming to events. They'll want to donate and sponsor and get their companies involved. So I think there's a big pay it forward component. And I know that's a big piece of Drew and Diamond's experience. And I'll let Drew share, you know, the value of how she feels giving back and volunteering is something that she incorporates into her interactions with Diamond. But as Lauren said, there are age parameters in place. And then I know you were asking what the process looks like. So maybe Lauren can take you through what that looks like from applying and then, you know, going through the process, and then the same for a big, because that may give a little bit more understanding of that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so when, like I said before, when a little wants to be part of the program or a parent wants to enroll their child, they contact us, we bring them in, we interview them, we make sure that they're appropriate for the program, that they're not in need of other services. If they are in need of other services before they can get matched, we provide referrals to those services, but keep in touch with the families to make sure that once they get their other needs met, they can come back and participate in the program. Once they're ready to be matched, we look and see if we have bigs in the program who live within a certain parameter of them, who share the same hobbies and interests. If they have a career goal, we would look and see if we had a big who was in that profession that we could match them with. And then we would make that match. Similarly, when a big is interested in becoming part of our program, they too go through the orientation process where they find out about what the commitment is. They find out what it entails to be a mentor. They go through an intensive interview and screening process. So they get interviewed by a trained staff person. We thoroughly screen them. We thoroughly train them. We make sure that they're also appropriate for the program. And then once they go through that screening process, we check references, we check driving history, we check criminal backgrounds. And once they've gone through all of that, they've received their training, then we see kind of what littles are ready to be matched with them.
Okay, we're actually going to take a short break. I do have a bunch more questions, and we're gonna, I'd love to speak a little bit more with Diamond. We'll be right back with Project Independence and You here at Senior Talk Radio, WCWP.org.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
And welcome back to Project Independence and You. I'm Rebecca Miller. I'm your guest host of the show this morning, and the co-host is Otto Lohse. Otto and I have been speaking with big brothers and big sisters of Long Island. We've been speaking with Laurore, who's the program manager, Meredith Michaels, the director of development, Drew, who is a big sister, and Diamond, who is a little sister. So I know during the break, Otto had some questions he wanted to direct toward big brothers.
Yeah, it's toward the part about who the big is and what kind of mentoring the big is capable of doing. To be honest about it, you know, they to me would have to be somebody who has an open mind and open eyes themselves. Otherwise, I could visualize in this world today, there are some people that are very strongly opinionated about certain things. And I don't know if you would want a mentor who has super strong opinions about something and then tries to more or less force the little into that thinking. How do you kind of try to prevent that?
Yeah, that's definitely something we don't want happening. Our interview process is pretty extensive. So it's not like a big will come in, meet with somebody for 10 minutes and then move on in the process. We sit down with them anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, and we do a comprehensive interview with them, asking them questions, seeing what their thoughts, beliefs, opinions are, and how they respond to certain things. We give them case scenarios to see how they would respond if put in certain circumstances, because we don't want a big to put their opinions, their beliefs on a little. We want them to expose the little to new things, open their mind about certain things, not necessarily what they want them to think.
Okay, I think that's
What kind
good.
of commitment do you kind of ask for from a big when they're coming to volunteer? Because certainly you want to, develop a nice relationship. And like, is it like a lifetime commitment? Is it a year? How does that work?
So when a big chooses to become part of the program, we let them know that the time commitment is a year from the start of the match. So not from the date that they come in inquiring about the program. It's a year from the day that they're matched, and they have to be able to commit 4 hours a month to their little.
Wow.
Right. And we do hope that the relationship does carry on for a lifetime, but that's not a program requirement.
How long I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask if they want to see each other more frequently. Is that allowable? Is that then also considered part of the program, or is that just something that they come up with on their own?
Yeah, that 4 hours is just a minimum guideline. We do have many mentors who do see each other more than that. We just ask that the mentors keep it consistent. So we don't want them spending 20 hours one month and 4 hours the next month. We ask that they keep it consistent.
Well, question for Drew and Diamond. How long have you two been matched as big and little, and what kinds of things do you do together?
So we've been matched for 2 years. We actually just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, which is really exciting. And we have done the most broadest range of different types of activities, and Diamond can chime in on this also, but we've done everything from fishing excursions to Adventureland. We have done volunteering for events also. Big Brothers Big Sisters also does a really fantastic job of hosting events, and Meredith and Lauren kind of spoke to this earlier. But they can bring in the bigs and the littles for different kinds of craft nights and Halloween events and fall festivals. But I do have to say, kind of like our favorite thing to do together is either the craft events. We both kind of bond over crafting. We're both very kind of creative people. Diamond more than me. She's way more, she's way better at this stuff than I am. I just like to try to be like her. But we enjoy doing the craft events, and we also like to do friendlies in the movies. So that kind of, we like to do those different types of things. So a very wide range of different types of activities. And I also like to try to introduce her to new types of things. I recently got her hooked on smoothies.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
So trying to expose her to different things, and then just seeing whatever she likes and whatever we enjoy doing together. And we just kind of go with it.
Simon, how do you feel that this program has influenced your life? How does it touch you?
Okay, so basically, I used to be very, like I said, I used to be very introverted. I still am kind of introverted, but it's a lot more easier for me to talk to somebody, specifically Drew, because when I was going through stuff in my life, I did not like to talk to anybody about it, like my grandmother, my mother, my siblings. I like to talk to people about it. And then I met Drew, and slowly she started opening me up to her. Like, I could tell her my problems. She'd give me her input, her advice. I'll take it. And then things will smooth out from there. She's like a great person to tell you advice to. I'll give you that right now. There's this little thing that before, when I had first met her, I didn't like to show my teeth in pictures. I did not like to smile at all. And you can look at all the pictures from back then to now. She has gotten me to smile in many pictures now. I did not like to show my teeth. Like, now I would usually be like this, or I'd cover my mouth when I smile or something like that. But now she gets me to like smile in pictures and talk more. And it's a lot easier talking to her.
That's great. Has it influenced what direction you think you might go in your life down the road?
Um, she's introduced me to a lot of stuff. Like I was always a crafty person, but I didn't like to take part in it. And now we make paintings and we decorate trucks. And right now we like have like this little bracelet thing that we're definitely gonna do later. We make a lot of stuff. Like she's basically introduced me to a lot of arts and crafts. I want to say, like we made a blanket. Well, almost finished the blanket.
We started a blanket.
But yeah, definitely.
Our radio show producer, Christina Lou, is right now, I don't want to use the word drooling, but she is so crafty. I've never seen her so focused on guests before. When you're talking about all the crafting stuff, she's like listening for ideas and all that. So wonderful and so creative. It would be great if you could have a career in some kind of creative, crafty profession. Is that something that you're kind of looking at down the road?
Yes, because I kind of, now that we started these bracelets and stuff, I kind of want to be like a ring maker, like give people customized wedding rings or make them
beautiful. So jewelry design.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And one more thing, which is it's important to mention that, I think a lot of people have a misconception that to become it's a big expense. So there's a lot of people that might be hesitant. Long Island's already an expensive place to live. I have children, or I'm right out of college, or I'm just starting out. And, to Drew's point, we really try to take that burden off of our bigs and provide a lot of these activities and tickets to things and virtual events and special events. And we don't want this to be a big expense on a big, and it's completely up to them what they'd like to spend and how they, the activities they want to do in addition. But there are so many resources that we do provide so that this match can still experience really great things together, but not have it be a huge financial burden on the big. So we encourage anyone interested in becoming a big or a mentor, to not really fear that side of things, because there is a lot of support available and resources available to sort of make that less of a burden.
What's the
set it up? I'm just curious. Sorry, Otto. How many active matches? Just so anybody who's listening has an idea of what goes into making these matches, and also, like you were just bringing up the cost factor, and we're going to get into fundraising probably in the next segment. We could talk a little bit about that. But how many active matches does the Long Island agency have?
Sure. On average, we serve about 500 youth per year.
So you have about 500 matches?
We have 500 youth enrolled in our program per year on average. Yep.
I'm sorry, but what's the average range of the bigs in that 500 matches?
You mean by age or?
Yeah. Like, are they older people, younger people, middle of the road?
We have a nice variety. We do have some bigs that are in college or just graduated college. And then we have bigs who are retired, so they're finished their careers and they want to give back. We also have a nice handful of bigs that are going through their career. Like Drew, she's currently working, she's in her career, but she also is a big sister, meets with Diamond. So it really, we run the gamut of ages.
And what's nice is that the vetting process, as Lauren mentioned, the piece of it that is so important is ensuring that the big and the little are going to really work together, that they're going to mesh, their personality. And that's why the process is so long. And we tell anyone interested that this is not just, oh, I want to be a mentor. Okay, here's a little, go be with them. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And it's so they can have this consistency and that they can have a more long-term relationship. Because if you paired a big and a little that were so different, had such different interests, and it's okay to have differences because you can introduce each other to those things, but it's important that you're going to work in some way. So having such a diverse lineup of bigs applying to be in our program really allows us to match them appropriately with a little. So we love that we have individuals right out of college, middle-aged individuals that have their own families and are, at the core of their careers, retirees, kids that are out of their home and off to college, older individuals that have been retired for a long time. We don't have restrictions on that because we can guarantee we'll always have a little that will be a good match with that person.
Right. That's good to know because we are Project Independence and we're a program for people in the town of North Hempstead who are 60 and older. So, there's an opportunity for seniors to do that as well. I'm curious too, and I don't know if we have enough time before the next break, is what impact did COVID have? How did the matches was everything on Zoom? Was there, how did you adjust? And did you see a lower enrollment or an increase of enrollment because people were, more homebound? A lot of kids were doing their schoolwork. Diamond, I'd be interested to hear from you too on that, how your relationship with Drew, since it sounds like it started before COVID and continued throughout. So I'd love to hear how that all worked for you too.
I think me and Drew got closer during COVID, to be honest, because not being around each other for a kind of like a period of time, there was a lot more stuff that we could talk about than seeing each other frequently. Like, say we saw each other every week, then I'd have to fill her in of stuff that happened that week. And not a lot of stuff happens within a week.
Not during COVID.
Not during COVID, but during COVID, like when you don't see each other for like 2 weeks to 3 weeks at a time, a lot of stuff happens during that time. So I fill her in. Basically, I text her and I'm like, the next time we see each other, I have tea to tell you. I said everything that happens and I fill her in. And it's great bonding, to be honest. And there's a lot of, there are Zoom activities during COVID, but we did one that was in person. It was like a Halloween trunk design, which we won the contest.
We totally won the contest.
But that was in person. I think the main focus of it is that we still wear masks though. Right. So like going around, it's good. We still social distance and everything, but it's usually just me and Drew in the car anyways. So yeah, we definitely got closer during COVID.
Technology sure helped our program.
Right.
And I think a lot of our matches definitely utilized FaceTime and Zoom and different forms of technology. Right.
Yeah,
FaceTime pictures this lady has is crazy.
All right, so when we come back from our next break, we'll talk a little bit more because I am curious to hear how it overall impacted Big Brother's.
Oh yeah, we have a lot more to share on the COVID on how our organization was affected for sure.
Wonderful. We'll be back right after a quick break.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
And welcome back to Project Independence and You. And it's been quite a show so far. We have learning a lot about Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Long Island. We have a wonderful big sister and little sister, I don't want to say couple, but a match. And they're really, it's really wonderful to see how your relationship has evolved. It's kind of, you two have a little, I don't know, definitely sisterhood between you. It's clear. And it's wonderful that you have so many things in common and even so much so that Diamond seems to be kind of looking for a career in jewelry making. So I'm just putting it out there if anybody is hiring or wants to hire Diamond.
Totally hit my line.
Love it.
I think she's extremely creative. They did win a costume, a Halloween costume party contest. So, she does have some background there. So I'm just putting it out there. But just before break, we started talking a lot about how COVID impacted Diamond and Drew's relationship. And it's so awesome to hear that it actually drew them closer and, kind of gave them that more, maybe you had a more opportunity of being like one-on-one without going shopping or doing things, which, there's nothing wrong with shopping and all that, but it's just interesting to hear, Diamond and Drew, how your relationship and bond grew. It's really wonderful. But also, in this question, we want to continue with Meredith and Lauren too. How did it affect you'd mentioned you have about 500 registered littles and maybe, around that number of matches. So I'm interested, how was enrollment impacted during that time? What were the events? What were the things that people were kind of like allowed to do? And,
Sure.
and just kind of hear a lot about the COVID process for you guys.
Sure. When COVID first hit, we really stopped all in-person outings, but that really allowed us to pivot, and technology helped us immensely. We were able to provide Chromebooks to our littles that didn't have that technology at home, so they could stay connected to their bigs. Many of them did weekly FaceTimes or biweekly FaceTimes. We sent out opportunities for littles to play games or do activities virtually, which was really cool. We hosted a bunch of virtual events, which we had a huge turnout for. We did a virtual paint night. We had a virtual Mardi Gras celebration. We celebrated match anniversaries virtually, was something we've never done before. So we were able to really pivot and use technology to our advantage so our matches could continue to build their connection and see each other and really grow their relationships.
And from a fundraising standpoint, COVID obviously affected us in a massive way. We are very much a special event-based fundraising organization, and that is how we bring in a lot of the revenue that help fund our entire program team. And many of you might be aware that we are also a donation center. You probably see the trucks driving around or the bins in different parking lots, and I'm sure most people can say they're a donor and have given for years. And of course, during COVID, we were almost inundated with the donation center because everyone had a lot more time to clean out their closets and their basements. So we had a huge response to that, so much so that we almost couldn't even take it all. And then from the fundraising piece, every single event was at a complete stop. And we had to, again, pivot and use technology to be creative. So we thankfully did have a lot of generous donors step up, knowing that this was a difficult time for the organization, and support financially to help us get through it. And we also held a virtual campaign where we encouraged everyone to get out and do something like physically active, walk, run, jog, rollerblade, whatever you want to do. We thought it was good for the mental health, good for the mind, the body, the soul. And we asked people to fundraise and create teams to join in that effort. And so I think a lot of people stepped up and were able to participate in that way. And a lot of our bigs and littles were able to do that event. So it was a really tough year on everyone. But to be very optimistic, we had, tremendous support. We had the technology and the ability and the creativity to sort of take a difficult situation and reinvent the way that we interacted with our matches, to reinvent the way we fundraise, and reinvent the way we communicate. And I'm really proud of our team here because I think everyone stepped up, and I think our matches stepped up the most because they could have sat back and said, oh, I'm not going to be able to see them. I guess we'll revisit each other in a couple months or a year when it's safe to. And in fact, you have stories like this, and they're not the only ones that say their bond grew even stronger, that they got creative in their activities, and they probably shared in a lot of new things that they had never done together before. So it was a tough year, but man, did everyone here make it work. And I think that, I think a lot of people have similar stories like that.
Did your organization provide, like a lot of the bigs and the littles prior to the COVID thing, weren't ready, I would say, technology-wise. Either they didn't have the knowledge, they didn't have the equipment, or whatever the issue. Did you guys provide support in that area from a technical advisor's point of view, and also from an equipment point of view?
Yeah, so we were able to distribute Chromebooks to littles in the program that were not able to have any other method to communicate with their bigs or to do schoolwork on, which was great. And then we opened the floor up to any of our bigs or littles who did have issues with technology. They have their support staff from Big Brothers Big Sisters, where they could reach out and ask questions to, and we could guide them through the setting up a Zoom account, or how to FaceTime, or how to log into a computer. We were there to support them through those troubles.
We were tech support. in an unexpected way. We can now add that to our resumes.
Well, Project Independence actually was very similar to what you're describing. This show right here, we're looking at each other. 2 years, a year and a half ago, we would be trying to get you to go to the studio at LIU Post. And, Project Independence adapted tremendously because of COVID. And this wouldn't have happened if COVID didn't show up.
In some ways, it almost created more opportunity to connect with a bigger reach or a larger audience. And, it made attending events easier for some. Transportation is sometimes an issue. Getting people to come to board meetings, committee meetings, that's hard sometimes. So in some regards, Zoom almost made that much easier. I think we're all ready to be in person. This whole, the Brady Bunch screens of seeing all the faces. It's been a year plus of that, but I have to say that we're very fortunate that we had the technology and the ability to support our users so that we didn't really skip a beat when it came to adapting, because it wasn't that easy for everyone to just all of a sudden turn virtual, and we had to very quickly.
It's so interesting to hear how similar your process was to ours. Like Otto was saying, within a week we were up on Zoom. The town of North Hempstead also has North Hempstead television. So we were actually reaching seniors who were not, which there are a lot, technologically savvy, because they could just go to their television and turn on whatever show we were doing. So Project Independence actually reached people who really, maybe they were isolated seniors, really didn't know that much about us or weren't able to get out of their house. So now they're taking fitness classes at home, that kind of a thing. And certainly with Zoom, it was definitely a learning process for us and for seniors. But now we have, we have advisory meetings where we can have over 50 people and they're all seniors. So it's kind of
like the best cool attendance anyone's ever seen.
I guess, exactly.
Super seniors, some in their 90s.
Well, my grandfather is 97 and we were Zooming with him this year than we would have ever seen him otherwise. He's in Florida, and I mean, God bless him getting on Zoom and figuring all that out, but it allowed for a lot of interaction with him.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We have time for just that one other area that we had talked about briefly on the break about the family situations that the littles come from. Like I can gather Diamond has a grandmother, obviously, who cares. She's the one who encouraged Diamond and her mother. And I'm suspecting that not every scenario is quite like that. What's the usual family situation? Are the families engaged in this, or are there scenarios where the families are not involved? What's the normal kind of deal?
Yeah. So our families are 100% involved in this program. We are strictly voluntary. So we don't have any littles in our program who are mandated. Everyone wants to be in this program. They want to participate. They want to engage. So we are lucky to have a great base of families that are actively involved with reaching out to us when they have issues, coming to our events when we have them, Zooming with us. They are actively engaged, which is great.
But you're right, we do have a wide range of families and different ways that this program affects them. And, I usually say there is no face for a child in need or a child that comes to our program. It runs a gamut of how they want to get involved and how their family might want to come to us for support. In some instances, it's just like Diamond's example where they said, you know what, we want you to get out of your shell. We want you to feel more comfortable, open up, have that support. And there's other families that have much more difficult stories, and they're lacking that consistency. They're lacking that adult mentorship and support in their life. They have much more difficult stories that they may be experiencing at home. And this program is one of the only consistent positive things in their life. So you really get a wide range of the way the families are affected personally. However, to Lauren's point, every single person is enthusiastic, excited, and encouraged to be involved in the program and part of it from the moment they enroll till the moment they sort of graduate from the program. And they're very much part of the process because we need the family and the guardian involved. We need the bigs involved and we need the littles. They all need to be on the same page or else it wouldn't be a successful program.
I think it's a great program. I think if you look back, any of us look back in your life, without an official program, we all had mentors somewhere along the line
Right.
who helped steer us in the right direction. And if this helps that, you learn from people. You should.
Yeah.
Why not?
And you could think on the flip side, if you don't have a mentor, the impact that could have on you negatively. So if you're interested in becoming one, please visit our website to learn more.
We have to take a short break right now. We'll be back with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Long Island.
So I get this call from my grandma, and she's like,
"What's a podcast and how much does it cost?"
So I tell her, podcasts are like radio shows, but you can download them on any device and listen to them anywhere at any time, and they're free. And then she says,
"I see, but where can you find good ones?"
And I'm like, go to wcwp.org/podcast and check out the lineup of original shows, or download any podcast app on your phone or tablet and search for LIU Studios. And she's all like,
"Oh, that sounds easy."
And then she asked me what an app is.
LIU Studios Podcasts, available on any podcast app. You know, those little button things on your phone screen. Just ask your grandkids.
And welcome back to Project Independence and You here at WCWP Radio, WCWP.org and 88.1 FM. We are in our last segment of the hour with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Long Island. We've been talking with Meredith Michaels, who's the Director of Development, Laurore, who is the Project Manager, and also Drew and Diamond, who are the Big and Little. And just been wonderful hearing about the evolution of your relationship and where it's going. It's so positive, and this program is so important to Long Island. And just kind of watching you two and how, both of you benefit from this relationship. You can just see. And Drew, every time you even speak, Diamond, I think she cries a little bit. I don't know. So it's really, really wonderfully touching. And I know that this program doesn't just happen in that, there it needs to be funded. And I'm curious to hear, kind of what, I know you kind of tapped into it a little bit earlier, but like, what are the costs involved, like per match, say, and also, what kinds of programs do you have where people can support you?
Yeah. So like all nonprofit organizations, fundraising is a really important and valuable piece of, how we function. And our program side, there are a lot of costs to make a match happen. The dollar number changes a little bit every year, but it is around $1,500 to make a match happen from beginning to end. All the cost of the background checks and all the, documentation and paperwork that goes into that. But as I said earlier, we're typically used to hosting almost 12 to 15 special events a year that help bring in a little over $1 million in fundraising. And right now we're in unique times when we're just starting to sort of open up to having in-person events. We actually just had our golf outing on Monday, and it was the most successful golf outing we've ever had. And actually Drew was there and spoke and shared her experience with the organization. And it's very important that we tie the mission to the special event, because a lot of these individuals are there, they're guests of someone, they came to play in someone's foursome, and they might not even know, all of what they're there supporting. So thank you to Drew for being there and sharing her experience. But our special events really do help generate the revenue needed to have a thriving program department and a program initiative. So we did just have a golf outing, which was a huge success. And as Otto had mentioned, possibly before we started recording, we have a fishing event on the East End. It's our Hamptons Offshore Invitational. It's in its 20th year. It's a very unique event. You see a lot more of these fishing events in Florida and in the South, not necessarily in Long Island, but it's a week-long fishing tournament. Captains can enter for either overnight or day entries. There's multiple fishing categories. There's weigh-ins daily. And then at the end, there's an award ceremony for, the fish get weighed and highest weights win prizes. and it's a lot of energy on the East End. It's takes place at Oakland's Marina, and just a lot of fun if you're in that fishing community or want to get involved in that regard. And we have a fantastic boat raffle associated with that. We only sell 1,000 tickets. They're $100 each, and you get entered to win a sportsman's fishing boat with all the equipment needed and all the accessories needed to do that. So that's a really great fundraiser for us. And in the fall, we're going to be hosting an in-person fashion show. And that event is a lot. I'm looking at Drew and Diamond.
Sure Diamond.
Hopefully we'll see them strutting their stuff. And that's one of my favorite events that we do, because it's actually one of the only events where our bigs and littles participate, because a lot of our other special events, they're, big ticket galas and golf outings. This is a really great event because our bigs and littles are the models, and it builds confidence, and we get to cheer them on as they strut their stuff. And we can't wait for that event. It's going to be held at the Crest Hollow Country Club on October 6th. More information coming out about that. But we usually in the past have had 20 matches there as our models, and it's just a really fun night supporting them. And then as we get a little closer to the holiday season, I think you can ask anyone on staff, one of the all-time favorite times of year is in December, when we run our Holiday for Kids' Sake program, where every single child in our program is sponsored for the holidays by an individual or a company. And what's very unique is not only are the children in our program sponsored, but all of their siblings as well. And this is a really nice initiative that helped the families that during, holidays are a difficult time of year as it is. And this is tremendous because they're getting actual items that they requested from their wish list. So it's a really magical time of year for us. We have tremendous sponsors. It's one of our biggest initiatives, and our families get gift cards to buy family food for the holidays, gifts for the children. And it's just a really joyous time of year for us for that. So if you want to learn more about that, you can visit our website at www.bbbsli.org. It's 3 B's. But our fundraising is really valuable and important to us. And if special events aren't for you, we have so many other ways to get involved. You can simply donate. You can set up monthly giving. I mean, $5 a month, you barely would even notice. That's not even a coffee at Starbucks these days. You can, look into stock gifts. A lot of people will use their credit card points to purchase gift cards. Some people will put us in their planned giving for more long-term support. You can donate items for our raffle and auction. You could sponsor kids for the holidays. I mean, really, there's something for everyone at all different levels. It's not always about writing big checks. You might just want to gather some gift cards from your community that we can use to help raise money that way. So visit our website to learn more. My contact information is there. But we really value our donors and our event attendees because they are, the heart and soul to how we raise the funds so that we can put on these great events for Drew and Diamond, and that we can have 500 matches every year and ensure that these kids have what they need to get through challenging times.
Wonderful. Otto, you have a question?
No, I'm just curious, Meredith, how long have you been with the organization?
I've been with the organization just a little over 3 years.
Okay.
Yep. And
Well,
I come from a background in nonprofit, but my heart is with Big Brothers. It's just the mission is incredible, the work that we're doing in the community. And when you like what you do every day, it makes it really easy. And I know Lauren would say the same thing, to talk about it. It's like, hopefully you can feel the passion in our voices because we firmly believe in the work that we do. And I mean, I'm crying for Drew and Diamond because those stories are amazing. Like, it's life changing, and it's amazing to get to be part of that.
Well, I asked the question because I do feel your passion,
Yes.
all 4 of you, for the organization and for what it's done. So that's a big positive.
Thank you.
It really is.
There's no price on that. It's just, you got to be engaged in what you're involved with, and you are. So that's a good thing.
Thank you.
So yeah, you guys are it's been a great show. The hour is going way too fast, but I wanted to just get this out there. I kind of know about Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Long Island. I've certainly learned a lot on this show. I am really, just taken by the whole process. Also, I do get all the time to donate clothes, but I bet there are people out there that don't really even understand that it's not just a donate your clothes kind of place. So how do people, I know you have a great website, and I could, if I'm looking to contribute, I can go to the website, see what events are happening, but how, like, this radio show is nice PR for you. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people, hopefully listening, but very interested in wanting to support this wonderful program, especially for our Long Island kids. And this is a Long Island, and you're all our kids. We're all parents, all the children are our kids on Long Island. How would someone who really doesn't have a connection to you hear about you? Is it, are there senior agencies? Like where would, our kind of, older adult hear about and find ways to be able to help, contribute, maybe become a big brother or big sister?
So I think most people know us, as you said, by the trucks driving around the communities, and right on the trucks, our phone number is right there. So, a really easy way to start by supporting us, if you've never been involved, if you're not aware of what our work is and our mission, is simply donate clothing or start a clothing drive at your church, at your group home, if you're involved in any religious affiliations or, clubs or groups. You could simply start a clothing drive. And that has a huge impact on us. Just to share a quick snippet about our donation center, because a lot of people have questions like, what do you do with all those clothes? And to give a better understanding. So we actually have a very unique partnership with Savers. They're a thrift shop on Long Island. And all of the stuff that you donate, clothes, shoes, accessories, household items, decor, it actually gets sold by weight to Savers. And then the funds that we collect are used to purchase new things for the littles and activities for the program. So we're not taking your used clothing and giving it to these families. We're able to sell it and buy them the things that they really need throughout the year. The Chromebooks, the paint nights, the school supplies, all of different resources that they need throughout the year. So that's one thing that I'd like to make very clear with people, that your bag of old clothes has huge value to us. And it's basically like making a monetary contribution. So just by starting with that, one, you're cleaning out a closet. It doesn't have any cost. There's no risk. And they will literally drive right to your home and load it into a truck. So for our older community members listening, it's very simple to support us in that way. And then, of course, our biggest area of need are mentors, especially male mentors. We have a wait list, as Lauren said. We have male littles that are waiting to be matched. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, even just to inquire, to learn about what the involvement is, please come to us so that we can talk it through with you, because that is something that we will continuously need. There are always children that are going to need our resources and support. So even if there isn't a great match right now for you, there will be. And they keep this stuff on file and they make that match happen when the time is right. So those two areas are a really fantastic way to support us and get involved. And then, of course, if you want to learn more, you want to help in other ways, you can contact our office or visit our website and learn a little bit more about all the variety of ways that you can support us.
I just have to buzz in real quick. Christina Lou, producer here. I am an avid donor to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and I could speak personally on how seamless the process is. And especially during COVID, I was trying to, as we said, purge my closet. There's certainly enough clothes that I've accumulated over the years. And on top of that, there was DVDs that I was able to, because I was like, what am I going to do with all these DVDs? And your website was so clear. And I get emails constantly saying, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, we're going to be in your area. So it's great to, I kind of keep a bag in my garage, and then, and just to fill out the form and they come, it's such an easy process. And I can't say enough great things about it. And it's so nice to know how the whole thing works now. So
and whatever can't be used, honestly, there's a whole green process on how the product is broken down and turned into material to make carpets and rugs. Like nothing is wasted. and you can read all about it. There's a whole
Okay.
recycling process.
Yeah. Great.
Unfortunately, we are at the end of our hour with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I just want to thank you all, and really, Diamond, it's just been an honor to meet you, and I just wish you so much greatness in your future. You really, really are a shining star, and thank you to Big Brothers and Big Sisters and Drew and everybody for joining us today with a lot of information.